Okay, we're back and ready to start Pro Men's head-to-head.
Oh, we are back. We got a skier
back.
coming around the island.
I'm going to hand my microphone off to John Horton for a while. I'm Tom Meekum. We're going to hand it off to the ball of hair himself, and then I believe Corey Humberg is going to hand his microphone off to Mike Kuziak. Mike's going to put it on the other side of the camp, or on the other side of the table there.
Absolutely. I'm going to sign off and watch some of this crazy men's action. We got Nate Smith, number one seed, coming into the event, going out there and stroking. I'm sure his 35 off. I am going to turn the mic over to my good buddy Kuz to keep you guys entertained. Much peace, love, and water skiing, everybody. Have a great day. Be safe. Watch this great men's action. And here you go, Kuz.
Thank you. Appreciate all you do for us up here, Corey. Mike Kuziak again. I'm going to hand the microphone over to none other than John Horton, the ball of hair himself.
Thank you. Is that check?
There you are. We're back.
Hey, we're back.
All right, here we go. Thanks a lot, Tom. Thanks, Corey. You guys did a wonderful job all morning long, keeping us entertained, keeping us informed of what's going on here on the water.
Hey, Coos, can you hear me all right?
Now I hear you.
Ah, there I am.
Got to bring it back into reception.
There you go.
Who's our next skier on the water? We had Nate Smith, our number 1. Now we have number 8, Adam Settlemeyer. Coming in the course, 32 off.
Current world overall champion. I mean, really, that's a title that used to be the pinnacle of skiing, and now we've kind of lost vision of overall. He really is the greatest water skier on earth today.
That's true. With an overall world title, he's been looking strong all year. Skiing pretty well in the slalom event as well. There he is with a very strong and easy 32 off.
And let's be clear, not from Czechoslovakia, from the Czech Republic.
Correct.
Now, you realize the Czech consumption of beer per capita in the world?
How do you know that?
It is a wonderful place.
Never been, but sounds like a good place to be.
I want to go.
All right, so up next, Nate Smith, 35 off. Nate's been skiing incredible all year. What an athlete at such a young age.
He's on fire. He's on fire. And you know, the Justin Bieber impression he does is just staggering.
Yeah, I hope he can show us that as he makes his way around 4-ball over here.
All right, so Nate Smith coming back in. What's the line length again?
35 off.
35 off.
It looks like they're towing Mastercraft towboats for these first few skiers. I see they've been switching between that and Nautique all day long. It's going to be awesome to see the great scores behind both boats. Here comes Nate Smith, 35 off.
All right, Nate's around 1. Looks like, you know, this is like easier for him than my opening pass is for me. Just kind of screwing around, getting the feel of it.
Big turn at 5, easy over to 6, and out the gates.
Getting the blood flow.
Easy. He's so light on the water. Keeps the rope tight, tension, keeps direction, but never loads hard.
You know, you talk to the guys at D3, and there's a lot of discussions about Nate's technique, about how he's really super forward, got his weight all on his front foot until right through the wakes, and not that he rocks back, but he just powers it right from the first whitewash to the second wake and casts out.
Yeah, he does ride the ski flat for a long time going into the apex of the turn. It's pretty amazing how he keeps direction and tension all the way out.
But you know, it's not really as entertaining. You know, when people watch somebody like you and I ski, it looks hard.
Well, yeah, when we're bouncing in the water, it makes it look fun. Well, let's see how fun Adam can make 35 off. He's been looking pretty good today. I expect an unexciting pass here as well.
It's kind of boring because they're too talented.
So again, your current overall world champion, Adam Settlemeyer, coming into the course now, 35 off. Here he is around 1, over to 2. Looking good today. Adam Settlemeyer in control of his skiing. Very balanced around 4, over to 5. Adam Settlemeyer, 35 off. That's 6 buoys and out the gates.
For the folks at home, you know, there's the big name skiers everybody knows, and maybe Adam's not front of the magazine all the time. But if you have a chance to meet him, just a super nice guy. Really, as the pro skiers go, world overall champion, he really needs some credit, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely true. A lot of times, people from other countries here in the States, where a lot of the competitions are, we don't always know about what's going on with these other athletes, and it's awesome to see athletes from other countries being overall world champions or world champions in other events. Just shows how popular water skiing is all over the world. All right, 38 off, Nate Smith. All eyes on the water for this guy. If you want to see how easy slalom skiing can be, he is the guy to watch. Nate Smith coming up very young with very talented scores. Here he comes, 38 off, Nate Smith. He's around 1. Over to 2, wide and early, Nate Smith making it look easy. 4, 5, not a bobble, no stretch of rope ever in the water, nothing. Such an easy pass for Nate Smith, 38 off. Get some good photos, John?
I'm working on it.
Nice.
Have posted photos last 2 nights in a row on baldspray.com. And probably post some tonight.
Ballofspray.com, that's a great website for all of you guys.
Thank you. Sorry. Darn it, Coos, they're making me do my job the right way.
That happens sometimes. Adam Settlemeyer on the water now. He's going to be at 38 off. Another warm-up pass for these athletes. Again, both of them more than capable of running 39. This 38 is just a warm-up to feel the water, feel the wind, get an idea what this boat's doing. Here he is, Adam Settlemeyer, 38 off. Big 4-ball, kind of fell back a little bit, but no problem, no trouble. Around 5, 6, and out the gates.
Very talented skier, and also should be noted he's one of the many European skiers who skis in Monroe, Louisiana. There's a college down there, I guess, where they hang out and do some skiing.
Yeah, that college team's been pretty good from what I've heard.
The dark secret of my family is that school had not lost a national championship in 9 years.
So you went there?
Until my freshman year, yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
Did you win while you were there, though?
We won twice while I was there.
Oh, that's good. So you weren't a total loss?
No, but it was kind of disappointing to be completely undefeated, and then I show up, and we're out of there.
Were you the only one to show up that year?
Pretty much.
Wow. Well, back again on the water. Nate Smith, 39.5 off. Slight headwind. Conditions just about perfect today for these. These guys are going to show us some really good scores. Here's Nate Smith, another warm-up pass for him so far. He's run many of these in competitions this year. I think he's only missed 1. Here he is, 39 off. Nate Smith, he's around 1, over to 2. Tiny bit of loose rope at 2, but no trouble. He's around 3. Nate Smith, patient, over to 4. Backside of 4. Nate Smith, early to 5, over to 6. Out the gates, 39.5 off for Nate Smith.
Fantastic. So as you're saying, Nate actually in record events ran 39 off 37 times consecutively this year, and nobody's actually found the record yet, but we don't believe any skier in the sport has ever done that before.
That's a long time. That's a lot of 39s, and now he's only missed 1. He's back on track for making 3 more, I believe.
Well, he's got to start the count over again.
Yep.
Oh, that's 4 in a row.
All right, we're back on track. There's 4.
I would love just to run 39 off once.
West Coast swing and the new
Ever.
record.
Me too.
He's working on it right now. Hopefully out before the end of the year.
All right, but right now, Adam Settlemeyer, he wants to be the one to run 39. He wants to compete with Nate Smith and give him a go at 41. So let's see what he can do on the water now. Adam Settlemeyer, your overall world champion, 8th seed into the finals. Here he is, 39.5 off, pulling out for the gates from the south end of the lake.
Is that a little sticky there at 1?
Oh, he's in the paso at 2. Grabs a hold of the line, gets tight at 3, over to 4, bounces a little on his way out, but he's staying strong. Over to 5. Adam Settlemeyer, 5 to 6. He wants to do the end this.
Oh!
Can he hold the slack out the gate? 6 buoys. Adam Settlemeyer, 39.5 off.
You know, those jumpers and trickers, they're tough.
They hold on. It's nice because those other events give them that other edge when they need that. Side slides at the buoys, catching loose rope.
You know, I'm not sure what Adam's weak event is. I think he'll trick above 10,000 points. He certainly jumps well over 200 feet, if not 220. And he's a world-class slalom skier. It's pretty amazing.
That's quite an athlete. Not many people out there in the world that can do all 3 events in that class and that well.
Perhaps today, 2 or 3.
So Nate Smith on the water next, 41 off. The kid that's capable of running it. He's done it 5 times already in record tournaments. Slight tailwind. He's coming from the north end of the lake, 41 off. Here he is, Nate Smith. Through the gates. He's around 1. The rope's tight at 1. He's over to 2. Nate Smith, big 2-ball, gets stood up. Oh, he's going to go inside of 3. Unofficial, 2 buoys, 41 off. Nate Smith.
You know, it's funny, Coos. We're shaking our heads like that's disappointing. It's 2 at 41 off. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah, 2 at 41 used to be the score to get. That was the score that would put you in the finals almost every time.
That's absolutely.
And today?
Not so much.
Correct.
Just amazing.
Nate, one of the skiers that's been showing us 3, 4, 5, and more at 41.
He's run 41 a few times this year.
This is true. So Adam Settlemeyer needs to get a piece of 3-ball. Needs to get the ski outside of 3 with the handle still in hand.
You know, I think it's maybe even harder knowing what he has to do. You know, it's one thing to go in and say, I just got to run this thing. But now it's like, do you be cautious? Should you be aggressive? What do you do?
Well, this is 41, so not too often are you expecting to run 41, but you're going to take 1 as strong as you can, but a little cautious so you can get yourself around 2 and go as hard as you can. Because if you get to 3, that's all it takes, and you're into the next round.
So this is not a gimme. I mean, this is tough.
Here he is, Adam Settlemeyer, 41 off. Let's see what he's got. Does he have what it takes to get out to 3? He's going to have to get a start at 1. He's outside of 1. Ropes in the water at 1. He holds on to get around 2.
So.
Oh, he doesn't quite get to 2. Adam Settlemeyer, great skiing. Good job this weekend. Nate Smith, you're going to move on.
All right. Nate Beaver Smith moving on. World champion. Adam is going to go have a beer.
Adam, great job this weekend. Tough skiing. Good performance here in the final.
All right, Coos, who do we have? Oh, hey, we have some raffle winners. Mr. Mark Montgomery. Ms. Gail. You want to take a stab on Gail's last name? Lois, sure. Hope. Janie. I know it's Janie Fossil. I'm trying to think. What do we say? Janie, the I beat John Horton Fossil, and Bill Barrett. You guys won something in the raffle. All right, Adam, there's a big score out there. You're 39. How was that?
I mean, it wasn't my best 39 by far, you know, but it's 6 buoys, and I'm always happy if I get to advance to 41.
Well, man, it was beautiful skiing. Tell us about your weekend in general.
Oh, just exciting weekend, you know, one of my first finals or semifinals ever, so I'm totally happy about that, you know, put up 2 39s and 2 solid scores with 41, so can't be more happier.
Thank you, man, and want to congratulate you again on your World Overall Championship.
All right, thanks.
Great job, Adam. Right now on the water, we have Chris Parrott. Oh, we're going to have number 2 versus 3, Will Asher versus Jonathan Travers. Looks like Will Asher is going to come out first. Here he is, 32 off. The wind's picked up a little bit for Will, but he's having no trouble here as this is a nice warm-up pass for him. 32 off, Will Asher riding that Syndicate A2.
So, Kuz, talk to me about Will Asher's 2-4-6 turn.
Best ever.
What's he doing?
Balanced.
Amazing.
Control. Power.
Maybe the best turn in slalom skiing today?
Definitely one of them.
So we're going to get contrasting styles here, right? You said it's Will and JT. So we really do have 2 really different slalom styles.
Both riding the same ski, but yeah, definitely skiing differently on them. Will's just a little bit more, I'd say, technically powerful. JT's a little bit stronger, a little bit harder off the boot.
Now, I don't want to take away from Mr. Asher at all, but JT slalom is entertaining.
True. But when he's on this game, he's definitely a little bit more upright than he used to be.
It used to be more?
Entertaining?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Wow.
Back when the cowboy collar.
Yeah.
But now they're both riding that A2. Here he is, John Travers from the north end of the lake, 32 off. Here he comes.
Our current Masters champion, I believe.
He is, and he's sporting the beard.
I think he's trying to channel 1972 Bobble Point.
He's got a pretty good image going on there. As he's going around 5, over to 6, and out the gates. Nice, easy warm-up pass, Jonathan Travers.
Beautiful.
Wow. So it's a pretty good matchup. Masters champion versus Malibu Open champion.
Past world champion.
Correct.
Will Asher really is one of the most dominating slalom skiers in the last 5 years.
Yeah, he's definitely come on in the last 5 years as one of the strongest and been number 1 in the world many times. Had a couple world championships, many Masters titles, many victories. And I think he's won this event, actually.
I believe he won last year.
The last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. So he's definitely here to defend his title again. He's the guy that likes to go out first, put up a big score, and say, come get me. Here he comes back, Will Asher, 35 off from the south end of the lake. Little headwind on this pass, as the wind seems to be up and down this afternoon right now, a little bit higher, a little stronger than normal. Should be no problem with this 35 off. Will Asher through the gates for round 1. There's that 2-4 you were talking about.
Amazing.
1-3, nice and calm, balanced, 2-4, bam. Whoa, I'm at 3 early, 5 early. There it is, over to 6, and out the gates.
Now, Kuz, you know, I take a lot of water ski photographs. I gotta say, those trunks that Asher are wearing are prime.
Oh, I'll have to get a better look here at 38.
Very important that you wear contrasting colors in your pro event trunks.
Contrasting or blending?
No, not blending, contrasting.
Oh,
Like,
two different shades of green?
No. Like, he's got black and white checkers,
Ah,
right? It's good.
not bad.
Now, all the green, it does go with the bib.
Thanks. All right, there we see Will Asher getting on the back of the boat, waiting.
So, John Travers, of course, son of maybe the most famous coach in the sport of water skiing, Jack Travers.
Very true, and that's why I think he's come on at such a young age, being very successful on the Pro Tours, getting his first victory already this year. What is he, 22?
I don't know, he's young, but, you know, grew up at that ski school. Also jumps, actually, he told me he's recently been jumping a little bit himself, which is amazing for a guy who's kind of making his living on a slalom ski.
Well, I have to agree, it is pretty fun. I just started myself, but there he goes, the 35 off, wide and early. The wind seemed to be picked up a little bit, and those athletes are feeling it as they make their way up the course through 35. No problem.
Looked pretty easy to me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that jumping's pretty fun. It's hard not to do it. I actually started up again just last week.
Terry Winter isn't influencing you, is he?
Just a little.
Bad.
The bigger influence, though, is the girlfriend's kids. 7 and 10 years old, learned how to jump. I can't let them jump without me.
You know, I was a jumper back in the day, and I miss it, and I limp every morning when I get out of bed and walk to the bathroom.
Well, I'm still healthy and strong, and I hope to continue to be that way. So just keep them binder side up, and we'll hope to jump a long time.
Binding side up is the secret.
All right, on the water now. Will Asher, this should be 38 off.
Again, folks, watch this 246 turn. It is just massive.
Tailwind, no problem. Tight line, over to 2. Whoop, there he is, early to 3. Will Asher coming into 4. Nice turn at 4. Over to 5. Looking dialed this weekend. Will Asher in great form. 6 and out the gates.
Amazing. You know, it's really shocking. Think about the number of great slalom skiers that come out of cold countries.
Very true, although skiing in those colder countries or even colder states just allows you to get that edge to want to train harder and be warmer and fight those tough conditions. And then when you get in the nicer ones, it's a little bit easier.
You think about England, they've got, Annie Mappel, of course, Will Asher, and then in the greater United Kingdom, I guess, you've got Nicole Arthur.
Correct.
And Tom Asher, of course, is a jumper. All those skiers coming out of that cold, cold climate where there's
Damian Sharman.
Damian Sharman, heck yeah. Many more, I'm sure.
Definitely. All right, now here we go. Who is he going to take down Will today? JT, does he have it? 38, should be no problem. Another warm-up pass for him. He's going to feel the water, feel the wind. How much is this tailwind blowing? Will it be the best 39 head? Here he is, Jonathan Travers, 38.
So Kuz, with the beard, do you think he had to take a degree of wing angle out?
Yeah, slows him down a little bit. I think he's keeping his ski set up a little the same. He gets pulled out around 4. No problem on 5. Oh, unfortunate turn there. 5 ball for Jonathan Travers. Kind of shocking. Usually he'd pull that off and still get over there, but a little too stretched out coming into 5 ball. That's
a bummer for John, but still a solid weekend for him. And really, he's not that far in his pro career, and he's coming on so strong.
Very true. And just on Thursday night, he was working on a set of bindings. He's got 6-7 stitches in his hand. Amazing to even get into the final this weekend. Will Asher looks like he's just going to take a victory lap. He's not going to ski any longer. He's going to save that strength for the next couple of brackets.
Yeah, we need to watch Will in that last bracket. He's a monster here.
Congratulations, Will Asher, moving on to the next round. Next skiers on the water is going to be Aaron Larkin versus Terry Winter.
Wow,
Whisper.
This is an interesting lineup, isn't it? These two.
Very true. Both capable. I've seen Whisper get to 3 at 41 a couple times this year in excellent conditions. Seen Larkin get 2 every day of the week.
How tall is Larkin? Any idea?
6'1", 6'2".
How tall is Winter?
5'1", 5'2". Oh, no. 5'8".
Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, he's about my height. He weighs about half as much, but that's a whole different discussion.
Actually, I think he probably weighs about the same. He's about $175.
Oh, yeah, thank you. But for a guy his height, there's a lot of people talk that if we could equalize height, Terry Winter is perhaps technically, it can be argued he is the most technical skier in the world today.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's absolutely amazing how talented he is on the water. And to run those big scores as the tall guys do as well, it's quite amazing to see.
It really is. Now, you can't take away from Larkin. Larkin has had a big year, too. He took down Mumba 2 years in a row, and he had another big victory in the last couple of weeks, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a win at Princess ProAm, and he's got a couple seconds this year as well. So as far as the points go, Larkin needs to stay ahead of Asher, and he could be the points leader for the year.
It's kind of giving Larkin a hard time today, saying, hey, man, you need some rough water so you can win. He looked at me and said, no, that's not me anymore.
But he wins when it's rough, and he wins when it's tough, and that's when he gets it done.
Well, but his point is, he thinks he can win when the conditions are perfect too.
Well, either way, the wind's kind of up and down today, so let's see if it's up or down when he's skiing. On the water now, is it Aaron? Or do we have Whisper? Looks like we have Aaron Larkin on the water. He's coming in the course, 32 off. He's got that really big 1.35. There he is, around 2, over to 3. Looking good and strong. Aaron Larkin, tight line, round 4, over to 5, 6, and out the gates. Aaron Larkin, 32 off.
All right, Larkin out there on a ski you're familiar with.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that Radar Strata. It's seems to be working quite well for him this year, especially in those rougher conditions.
Absolutely. Yeah, Larkin, where's he from, New Zealand?
New Zealand, that is correct.
Again, another country you would not think would produce top slalom skiers.
Very true, although Larkin's had the endless summer for about 15 years or more, if I'm not mistaken, traveling back and forth from New Zealand to the States and spending some time in Europe as well. So he's definitely spent some time in warm climates and not too much in the cold these last few years. And he's a guy who's really trained hard and gotten a lot stronger, and his scores have shown. Now on the water, though, T. Whisper, Terry Winter. He's going to be coming in the course 32 off. Another warm-up pass here for Whisper. He hasn't made every final this year, but it's good to see him here as a hometown favorite, making it into this final again.
Feeling a little adventurous.
Terry's most likely riding the new D3 Fusion. It looks like X7 graphics, but I suspect that's actually a prototype of D3's new ski, the Fusion.
We play it for you on
definitely an
X7.
Well, I have been wrong. I have been wrong before.
So you can check it out tonight.
Well,
it's a few hours long. Just pop in.
I tend to ski with Terry on a regular basis. I'm pretty sure that's still an X7. He hasn't had a whole lot of time on that Fusion yet.
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed people, but
he's feeling a little bit more stable and consistent on that X7, so he can get used to it.
This is Rock and Roll
All right, well, turns out D3 does make a few excellent skis.
Yep, yeah, they do, and I think Nate Smith is another one that's riding that X7. So
Nate Smith is definitely riding the what was that 72-inch X7?
Yeah, quite a big one. So both these athletes getting through 32 off. They're going to come back 35 off, get to feel the wind out, feel the conditions, feel the water, and feel these boats. These Mastercraft towboats doing an excellent job all weekend long, towing the big scores.
Really, really need to thank both of our towboat sponsors, Mastercraft and Ski Nautique.
Yeah, both excellent boat companies, been the leaders in water skiing for centuries.
Right, and we need these boat companies out here, and it's hard to ski without them, I guess.
Yeah, here we go. Aaron Larkin, 35 off. He's into the course. He's got a pretty calm gait. Not too wide, but he keeps the line tight. There he goes. He's around 3. Aaron Larkin with a big 1.35. He doesn't need it yet. Still just 35 off. He's in control. Tight rope. Nice, easy warm-up pass for Aaron Larkin.
You know, Kuz, it looks like he's just centered in the middle of the ski and still and doesn't really do a lot extra out there.
Yeah, and if you can ride that position, that ski will work good for you. Especially on that Radar Strata. I mean, that's designed by Chris Rossi. I know he spent a lot of time testing many skis to come up with that design and take some of the best characteristics from all of the other skis and design it and compete it and put that all into one to come up with that Strata mold. And it's been amazing to ski on that thing and to see how well balanced it is. When you can ride that ski balanced, it'll turn buoys for you. So now we got on the water.
Terry Winter. You know, Terry, it's not really new, but he's a relatively new father.
Yeah, he saw out a 4-month-old baby. 6 months?
6 months old.
Wow. We've only been on 2 mountain bike rides since the baby. Actually, no, the first one was Monday. Or Tuesday. Monday we had the tournament. Monday he jumped 190 feet twice.
Which is crazy. He's not a jumper anymore. He's a slalom skier.
Well, here he is at 35 off. Coming into the course. He's around 2. Terry Whisper, technician. Very, very technical skier. Looks absolutely perfect balance over the ski. Looking stunning at 35 off. Very, very easy pass for Terry Winter.
Just really the ideal slalom skier. He was just a little bit taller.
Yeah, he's got the position at any height. He would definitely get around buoys, as he shows you with his incredible disadvantage in height.
So, since you ski with him so much, how come you don't ski better?
I don't get to ski with him a lot, but on occasion. And yeah, he's just better.
Ah. All right, coming back here in just a moment, Mr. Larkin.
Larkin's going to come into course now, 38 off. This wind has subsided. It's still a tailwind, but not nearly as strong as it has been at some moments today.
You know, I think just a little texture on the water is actually a good thing.
Yeah, it helps the skier flow, keeps the ski on the water, keeps the contact a little bit easier. Here he goes. Out for the gates, 38 off. Very calm approach. Aaron Larkin, big one ball, 38 off. Nice, easy 2. He's looking dialed this round. Oh, a little big turn 3. Bounces over to 4. Making his way outside of 5. No problem at 38 off, Aaron Larkin.
You know, again, as I said in the previous pass, it just looks like he's still. He establishes his angle and does very little but stays centered right through the waist.
Yeah, I was talking with him a little bit the other day, and all he tries to do is hold what he has. Don't add to the load. Don't add any more leverage. Just keep what you have and ride that angle and direction all the way out.
Well, it looks great.
Seems to work really well for him. He's trying to stay light. And a big guy like that staying light on the line is going to help him.
It turns out that it's hard for some of us to do that.
That's because you're turning. Don't turn.
Don't turn.
And it'll turn out to be hard.
Huh?
Exactly.
Right.
All right, 38 off now.
Folks at home are confused.
T Whisper, 38 off. Slight tailwind. Terry's got a little one-handed gait, but he pulls out earlier than some people with a one-handed gait. He gets out there, gets control, gets centered, reaches, makes the turn. Get a nice tight line over to 1. Terry backside at 2, on his way to 3. T Whisper looking in the money right now. So far, 4, on his way to 5. Terry Whisper, nice, easy, 38 off.
So, Coos, let's talk about Terry skiing there for a little bit. We see the edge change, and he comes into the buoy. The handle seems to really move forward.
Yeah, you don't want to pass the handle as you come into the buoy. You want to make sure you can stay behind it so you can keep the line tension tight all the way out. He's a technician in the sport, knows what he's doing, and stays right with it all the way out.
That's just beautiful.
Riding that line all the way out to the buoy is one of the things that's very challenging for some of our athletes. The forces that create as you load and come across the wakes makes it very tough to manage and keep that direction and keep that position as you go out.
Kind of reminds me of another one of our athletes who's missing this weekend, Mr. Jamie Beauchamp.
Yeah, unfortunately he's not here this weekend. I'm not sure what he's up to. I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks. But right now on the water, Aaron Larkin, perfect conditions for a 39 headwind. He's going to want all 6 buoys here to put some pressure on T Whisper. Here he comes, out for the gates, 39 off.
Oh, big one.
He's around 2, catching a little rope at 2. Not unfortunate for him. He knows what to do. Nice big 3. Aaron Larkin around 4. Can he get a big 5 to get to 6? Holds on hard. Over to 6. Out the gates. Aaron Larkin, 39 and a half off.
You know, that was entertaining.
That was fun. Aaron Larkin definitely likes to make it exciting. His 1-3-5 turn, definitely a big turn in the course. Not quite as strong and as hard as what we used to say, like with the Jeff Rogers, but definitely along the same idea.
He's not making it look easy.
No, that 2-4 wasn't really the best turns for him, but he caught the line all right. Got over to 1-3, got a big turn, held the line, got out the gates, 6 buoys.
Now, it'd be an interesting contrast here. Terry Winter coming up should be much more flowing.
Yeah, this is a much smoother skier, a lot more technical skier, and a lot more balanced skier. You should see more turns fluid on both sides of the course.
Well, again, and he has to be because he's, well, not incredibly tall.
True. Perfect conditions, though. 39 and a half off, slight headwind.
And he's local boy to Northern California. He knows this site.
He knows the site. He knows the waters out here. He knows how to get it done. He did it many times last weekend in record tournaments in the same kind of conditions. Terry Winter, our local favorite. Absolutely perfect conditions. Slight headwind. T-Whisper sits in the water, waits for the... Here we go, 6 buoys for Larkin.
This is Classic Rewind.
All right, boat just called in. They're on it. 39 off. Terry Winter.
All right, all eyes to the south end of the lake coming into the headwind. This is Terry Winter, 39.5 off. He needs all 6 buoys to advance to the next round. He's capable of doing it. He's your hometown favorite. He wants to hear you. He's around 2. Terry Winter working hard, getting to 3, makes a big turn at 3. Terry Winter around 4, backside of 4, going hard. Terry Winter around 5. Can he hold the line and get in? Oh, unfortunately not going to finish the pass. Give it up, everybody. Your local favorite, Terry Winter, everybody.
Darn it.
Man, I thought he was in it. He had it. The 4-ball, he didn't quite get out enough to get to 5 and be comfortable to make a big turn.
All right, so that would be unofficially, we're going to call that 539.
Yeah, I didn't hear the official score. I couldn't see if he got outside of 5.
Okay, well, that does bring us to our final matchup. 2 very small men.
Yeah. I certainly looked down. No, I look up to these guys.
Because you have to.
Only because they're 6, 7, 8.
Seriously, how the next 2 skiers in the water are Chris the Tower Parrish and Nick the Yeti Parsons.
So we got a baker's son and a
rocket scientist
son. Who brings home the dough today?
Okay, so seriously, how tall is Parsons? Do we know?
I believe he's 6'5".
6'5", and he looks like he's 6'14".
Okay.
You know, you've seen the old Fletch movie where he's got that flashback scene where he's doing the basketball scene and he's 6'2", but 6'8" with the hair.
Yeah.
The fro. That's what I'm going for.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'll work for you.
It's not buying me buoys yet.
Oh, no. Well, Parrish on the water now. He's going to come in the course at 32 off. A little warm-up pass here for him. You guys want to see how narrow the slalom course looks? Have a look at this 32 off here by Chris Parrish as he stretches himself out around 6 buoys at 32 off. Here he comes to the north end of the lake. Pulls out for the gates. Chris Parrish riding the Syndicate A2 this weekend.
Coos, I tend to think that Parrish is perhaps the ideal model for somebody to copy if they want to go out and learn to run a lot of buoys.
He certainly skis with leverage, stays very still, and side-to-side movements are very little.
There's so little movement, and he's so tall and centered. It actually reminds me of one of the legends, but from back in the day, Bob LaPointe.
Yeah, very similar style, although I'd say a little bit more dynamic than Bob.
Things have changed. I mean, the equipment's changed.
And again, he's your world record holder. 2 buoys at 43 off.
Yeah, just amazing skier. When people call me up or talk to me and say, you know, should I ski like this, should I ski like that? I say, look, go home, go on the internet, Google it, find some YouTube video of Parrish, and watch it over and over again, and there's your coaching.
There you go, Chris Parrish. He's the one to watch if you want to learn how to ski. Well, right now, he's going to compete and go up against Nick Parsons, the Yeti, out of Bountiful, Utah. Is he still there? I hear he moved out of home.
I don't know.
He's down the road now, but he's still in Utah. Right now, he's at the north end of the lake, coming in the slalom course at 32 off.
All right, Parsons, opening pass, 32 off.
Again, another slalom skier warming up here at 32 off, making the course look narrow as he stands super tall. And as you see as these athletes go by, how they look taller the closer you get to them. As they're skiing and you watch it on TV, it's always hard to tell, but in person, they're quite big.
Oh, Parsons they're both very big men.
Very true.
So we put him in a boxing ring. Who do you got?
That's a tough one. Parrish has got more tattoos, but I think the Yeti might be thicker.
So in a dog race, which one you got?
Wow, so they are allowing them to get on the platform?
Something going on down in the hole down there, a little discussion. But Mr. Parrish coming back at 35 off. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to carefully watch technique, this is the guy that I recommend.
Chris Parrish, 35 off. Ooh, a little hard when he turned in for the gates there. Tight line over to 1, looking good at 2. On his way to 3, Chris Parrish over to 4. Wide and early, around 5, over to 6, and out the gate. So if you had to pick one thing about Parrish that you didn't like, what would it be?
Sunglasses. No, about his skiing? I don't know. I'd say
I think he often turns his head a little too fast at 2-4.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're talking about that little finish bit there right at the end.
That's it.
But now you watch Chris, and actually on his opening passes, this ski doesn't seem to really finish at 2-4. As the rope gets shorter, you can see that the ski has been tuned and adjusted really for 38 and 39 off, not for 32 and 35.
Yeah, which is a very good thing because you want that thing to work well at your harder line lengths when you're in trouble.
Yeah, I was actually noticing in the first rounds that it didn't really turn great here, and I asked him about it, how I thought it looked better as it went deeper in the course, and he just said he'd made his fin adjustment a little bit deeper, and it works better as the rope gets shorter.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, here he is, Nick Parsons. He wants the challenge, so he's got to run 6 buoys here at 35 off. He's coming into the course again from the south end of the lake. Nick Parsons, 35 off, around 2. Nice tight line, looking like he's skiing well today. Over to 3, 4. Wide and early, waiting for the buoys, 5 to 6. Nick Parsons, 35 off. Well, he looks good today.
You know, I'm thinking if I had some more video of Parsons, maybe I'd tell people to look at him.
He looked good there.
It's beautiful and smooth.
Very, very nice. Controlled, balanced skiing. I think that's what it takes.
I think Nick is, I know he's top 5 ranked in the world. I'm not sure what his ranking is, but, you know, there's no question if you're watching this webcast and you don't recognize all the names, you're not sure, these are the absolute best slalom skiers in the world. There's 1 or 2 names missing, but there's nobody here that doesn't belong here.
Very true. These skiers put in the effort day in, day out to be here, training hard all year long. Some of them don't even take a break. Here he is now, Chris Parrish coming in. This is 38 off.
It's going to start getting a little bit interesting here, but again, you can see a very restrained, strong style.
Whoa, and a big turn at 1 ball. Very unfortunate there, Chris Parrish. You don't see that too often.
No.
Goes in early at 38 off.
Highly, highly unusual. All right, well, that's unexpected, but so Mr. Parsons will undoubtedly come through, and all he has to do is get a round 2 ball. Well, full piece of 1, sorry. Chris is sitting to my right correcting me, and he may or may not opt to run the whole pass.
Yeah, Nick Parsons going to move on to the next round. If he gets a full buoy, he may want to save some energy, but then again, he may want to just feel the waters and get some more comfortability under his belt, ski a few extra passes. Although he is going to be up next against Nate Smith. If he can get a full buoy here or more.
I'm not really betting against Mr. Parsons at this point in the competition.
Neither would I, but let's see if Parrish gives him a little splash there at 1 ball. As he watches him come in the course, around 1, nice easy 1. He's going to run the whole pass, and then, stands up at 2. Let's move on to the next round. Take me back. I got to go against Nate Smith.
All right, so I'm not sure if we give them any kind of break here, because he's really fresh off the water, or he's still on the water. He's got to come back and go next. Okay, so there is going to be a small delay before we come back with the
borrowed it.
next set of skiers, we're going to
guess you could
switch
say.
boats. And so everybody kind of
I've
stretch
never
their
gotten a chance
legs
to ask him
and take a
myself
deep breath.
personally, so I don't want to be talking out of school, but there were those
Probably
who said that, right after
not
they toured
quite
with,
10 minutes.
The Jayhawks, that there was a song that they were playing around that time. They were opening for him, and then lo and behold, like a year later, Tom came out with Mary Jane's Last Dance, which sounds quite a
All
bit.
right, so it looks like, if I
like
understand
it.
this correctly, and Kuz, you
But
correct me,
I'm not
that
saying that's what happened.
the next brackets
I'm
are
just
going to be
saying.
Nate
It's Class
Biebersmith
Rewind with Mark
and
Goodman. I'm out.
Nick
Have a
the
great
Eddie
week,
Parsons
and I'll catch you back here
first,
next weekend.
and then
Gonna leave you with some
Larkin
music from
versus
38 Special.
Parrish.
Asher.
I'm sorry.
Larkin versus Asher, you're right. So we got Nate and Parsons, Larkin and Asher. They're going to battle it out for the next 4 spots coming up soon after we make a small boat change.
It's going to be kind of interesting to watch these 4 styles kind of in comparison. Because it's really not, to me, Nick and Chris, there's a similar skiing style here.
Yeah, they're both really tall skiers, and they both ski with a lot of little, or very little movement, if you will. And yeah, it's gonna change a little bit here. You got Aaron Larkin against Will Asher. Larkin with a big banging 1-3. Will Asher with a big strong 2-4. So we're looking at 2 skiers that are strong on opposite sides of the course. And then Nate Smith, your young gun, who's really come on strong this year, skiing really well in all conditions, more than capable of running 41. Getting the biggest score so far this weekend. And he's going to go against Parsons, who I've seen the 3-ball 41, but not much further.
You know, you hear hear actors and musicians talking about how they come out of nowhere and suddenly they're famous. Well, Nate Smith came out of nowhere and became famous this year in water skiing, which basically means he's been skiing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sets a year for the last probably most of his life, and he's just kind of broken through and become really the hottest new thing in the sport.
Yeah, he's really come on strong, running for 41, I think 5 times this year in record tournaments. That's commendable just in itself right there. 39 off, 37 times in a row. That's unbelievable stats for any skier. And pretty strong athlete, especially such a young age.
They really have to add him to the short list of people who are in contention to break the world record at any day.
This is very true. Anybody that can run 41 5 times in a record tournament in 1 year has got a chance to get to 3-ball at 43, especially being 2 balls his onside turn. All it's going to take is a 1-ball to get him there.
I think that there's a lot of people putting side bets out that Nate could be our next world record holder.
I'd have to believe that's true. And with these Nautique towboats getting in the water right now, Nate Smith skiing for Correct Craft, we might see something here today.
You know what his comment to me was this morning, take it one day at a time, right? There's no special plan, but he sure wants it.
Yeah, that's very true. And perfect conditions. This is a world record site. We've had a world record tied out here. And he's going to go behind his boat, this Correct Craft 200, which is the boat of his choice. So optimal conditions. We've got the best drivers in the world, best conditions in the world. And in his opinion, the best boat in the world.
If you look across the ski manufacturing industry, the one manufacturer who has never had the world's men's slalom record is D3, owned by Denny Kidder. All those years, all those trick records, all those jump records, I believe women's slalom records back in the day, but never had the men's slalom record. You know, Denny Kidder has got his fingers crossed that Nate Smith is going to give him that one title he's never had.
Yeah, that'd be a great opportunity for Denny Kidder as well, especially because he's built such wonderful skis over all these years, and he deserves some credit, that's for sure.
Oh, beyond a doubt. There's just a handful of guys that have made the ski manufacturing what it is, and most of them really came out of Seattle in the late 1960s, and it's Denny Kidder and Herb O'Brien. Unfortunately, Pat Conley isn't in the industry anymore, but that handful of guys, we all know the brand names.
Yeah, Eddie Roberts came out around that time, huh? He's always worked for them or something?
Yeah, as I understand it, Eddie Roberts, well, let's face it, he's a Smurf, right?
Oh,
He's
okay.
Papa Smurf, and so he's lived, 300 or 400 years.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I think he's just always been there.
Nice.
Really hoping he's not watching right now.
Well, let's hope we're all tuned in.
Yeah, I just sent Eddie Roberts a box of Smurf cereal last week. I hope he enjoys it. So again, we're doing a quick boat swap out here in the break. Kind of taking a moment to change brands. We go back and forth between the boat companies because they're both sponsors of the event, and they're both truly, legitimately world record capable products. So we're going to put the Mastercrafts away for the moment, pull out the Nautiques, and get going with the next set of brackets in just a moment. Hey folks at home, just want to remind you again, we're just doing a boat switch. We'll be back with the next brackets of slalom in just a moment. It'll be Nate Smith versus Nick Parsons, and then Mr. Larkin versus Mr. Asher. Just a few moments. All right, folks at home, your screen is not frozen. We're just taking a break here, so hold on. We're switching up boats. We put away the Mastercrafts. We're pulling out the Nautique 200s. We're going to come back here in just a moment. It's going to be one of two brackets, either Smith versus Parsons or Larkin versus Asher.